here, and welcome to another 2025 match of Fury Dracula. Oh wait, did I say match? That is inaccurate. For as the title of my stream says, this is actually going to be a double header between Mistergreen and PizzaWizard for the Ego Dracula 2025. They're going to be playing two games back to back. Apparently, for the first round, Mistergreen is going to be the hunters. And then, after the first one is done, I assume there will be a small intermission. And, simply speaking from past experience of double headers, there will likely be a small intermission, and then they'll switch with PizzaWizard hunting and Mistergreen being Dracula. We'll see who comes out on top. I myself have a small preference toward Mistergreen. I see that the should close the curtains a bit more. Make it so that the camera doesn't get glared at so much by the light. Okay. Apologies for that, but that should handle it. Let's see what happens. Alright, here we go. So, Mistergreen has gone with the PizzaWizard setup for the hunters, which, and I assume that in game 2, PizzaWizard will do the same, as it is his native setup for the hunters. But we shall see. All right. Let the week one supply train begin. Behind the veil right off the bat. Okay, double fog, a reckless and aristocratic, and and a rats. Interesting. Yoink. There goes one of the fogs. But I have always said that having a fog yoinked by behind the veil isn't the worst thing in the world, so long as you use the second one sparingly. Because then you're more likely to, then at the very least it is in the discard for the reshuffle. So, it is of course a little bit annoying when you're the Dracula player to have that happen, but what can you say? Okay, so Mia got a good luck card to be her trash event to act as a smokescreen for other events, as I tend to say. Okay. Interesting. No misdirect. Very interesting, that. Considering the fact that PizzaWizard is Dracula, I would not at all be surprised to see an Amsterdam start. Well, may I draw the newspaper to show where that starting location is? Evil presence. Okay, negative. No, non-Austria Hungary, eh? Where? So, anyone to play the game? Where did Dracula begin? Okay, going with a. I'm assuming that given that we saw Dracula starting him, that's a vampire, be whether reckless or aristocratic, followed by a fog on some sort of coastal location. Oh, newspaper, Granada. Perfect time to reveal the location. Okay, so that means that's even with the help of that fog, that's just not enough. The question is Seward prepared to go deal with it? Okay, at least gonna move down to Madrid. Makes sense, makes sense. So, it would appear that Dracula began at a guess at Alicante, and now he's at Cadiz. I think I would guess that he started at Alicante. Reason for this is that you will typically want to leave from Alicante when it comes to leaving Spain if you have to leave by sea. So therefore have that one be the lair. And then just make your way around until it becomes a lair, and then if necessary, wolf form there, and then leave, go to sea. Although only if strictly necessary to do that. Because wolf forming just before you go to sea is really not that great an idea, as you'll want wolf form for your landing. But this is a good start for Mr. Green. He knows where the encounter is. He has someone. Oh, whoa, wow! Full power mystic research. Didn't discard any Draculans. Wow. Wow. That is a very rare occurrence. The bottom 6 cards of the event deck are all hunter events. Yeah. I imagine that PizzaWizard is definitely less than happy about this. Phoner 3 minutes? Oh, got someone on calling him on the phone apparently. I will say that the fact that it's Granada and not a port city means that it's less likely that PizzaWizard chose to use fog. But he got 2 draws to try to find a bats or a saboteur. The draw that was caused by Behind the Veil, and the draw that was caused by him laying down the I'm going to guess aristocratic vampire. Don't know for sure. Could be a reckless. I mean, could be a new vampire for all we know. We don't know for sure, but we are more inclined to believe that it is a reckless or aristocratic vampire. Hey, PizzaWizard is PizzaWizard. Well, that's the thing. As to that comment from PizzaWizard, that's funny. But while PizzaWizard is not off to a good start, this is but the beginning. Mina and Goldaming are all the way over here. Van Helsing still has to cross the sea. Excuse me. With the Strider versus Spencer matchup being late last night, I am a bit tired. But let's see. Local rumors. Huh. Shame he didn't drop all that on Seward. As that would have told him everything. About the trail. Okay, you'd best be careful and you'd best make sure to keep count on how many night supplies you've done, Mr. Green. It's all too easy to lose count. So Yule presence. Well, okay, that tells us nothing new, unfortunately. If the starting location had been Alicante, then we would know that he was not yet at Toulouse or Barcelona. But since he didn't, well, that's that. Okay. Oh, stake discard. That's interesting. Let's make a bit of a count to... What is left? He's discarded all the pistols, so there's no pistols. He's discarded all the garlic, so that's gone. Mia has the only holy circle. Oh, or not. Mia discarded good luck and surprising return. Okay. Yeah. Despite the fact that they found the starting location so soon, there is still like the hunters still have things to set up. Like the fact that Swords had to move a couple times already means that that's two supplies they didn't get to do for doing things like helping set up horse economy, helping trying to dig for the horses. So I mean, of course, it is overall a plus, since this means that the hunters will assume that this is a real vampire. Okay, dogs and a stake. The last dogs, because there are 3 in the discard, so he has the only dogs card left. Okay, aristocratic and saboteur. Oh, saboteur gets gobbled up by the dogs. Bark, bark. Woof, woof, woof. So, yeah, Mistergreen is off to a very good start here. Okay. That's now 3 stakes in the discard. Yep. So, there's a letter at Alicante. Note cells. Rats. Yeah, ambushing because he knows that Seward has dogs. Honestly, I would just take it. Just take the 2 damage. You can heal that up. It doesn't matter if that matures. Just take it and then heal it up by night. Okay. I would have just taken it. There are far worse things that you can get rid of with dogs than are rats. For instance, the next thing could be a wolves or a spy. I personally would have held on to the dogs, except the 2 damage. It's Seward. He can heal it right back up. What do you care? Yeah, I suspect that Dracula is currently at Saragossa, or potentially Madrid, having gone there after Seward moved out, and is now going to go back to Alicante. Regardless which one. And we know that he went to Lisbon next, and then Santander. Okay. Yeah, supplying to replace the dogs, since he has, for those who... hello, Walker 208. The issue could be, it could become a lair with rats plus other cards if rats stay there. That is true. That is true. But if it comes that dire, but he did also have the option, instead of healing the damage, he could have just searched it by night, using the dogs to destroy them without losing the dogs. But all 3 options are valid, but yep. In any event, welcome to the stream, Walker. If you have any questions about what's going on, do ask. I'll do my best to answer. Okay, horses. Looks as if he's finally gotten the horses together. And good work, Seward, keeping things under control down there. Okay, yep. Next up, Lisbon. still a horse. So Van Helsing also so Van Helsing drew the third horse, and he's heading down towards Spain to trade Seward. Yeah, okay, what have we got here at Lisbon? The question is, do you night search this? Because we... Oh, apparently the answer yes. A hoax. Yeah, I mean, Mistergreen is in good shape here. He's putting pressure on Dracula. 3 people with horses are approaching from the north and east. While, meanwhile, Seward's just mopping up one encounter after another, single-handedly dismantling your trail. I mean, slowly but surely. Or at the very least, keeping your trail in check. Okay, misdirecting the spot after what we assume is Santander. Interesting. And that was Granada. Or no. So wolf form. Okay, so he did not go back to his lairs. Yeah, that much. Okay, so this is interesting. So where does he go now? Okay, not Clown Friend. And Helsing gets a 2. Heading down to Santander. Which is... Okay, so a wolf formed from a space adjacent to Santander. It's possible... It's possible that he's at Marseille now? Okay, that's dangerous. Okay, not there. So, yeah, we're slowly but surely just... Because we came from Nantes. So that seems to imply that he wolf-formed from Madrid to Bordeaux. Because we know that this is Alicante, simply from process of elimination. And then he didn't go to Granada since that's his lair. I mean, these spots are still on the trail. He misdirected Saragossa at a guess, then went back to Madrid, originally planning to go back to Alicante. But the other hunters were getting too close for him to attempt that safely. As that's, at least that's my guess as to what's happening. From 54? No, he couldn't have made it that far. Not quite. Well, I suppose yes he could. Now that you point that out, Walker. It's possibly misdirected Bordeaux instead. Good catch. Good catch. Oh, hello, Warcraft. Yeah, so I couldn't tell all your or Fear Dracula name. I couldn't tell who you were from your Twitch name. Okay, night fight with a new amp. Mesmerize versus escape. Okay. Oh, Does an Helsing have holy bullets? Let's take a peek in that discard pile. Well, there's only been one holy bullets discarded so far, and there's only 2 cards left in the item deck, so it's possible. Okay, so Van Helsing got bit. But since it's Van Helsing, that is not unduly concerning. It's mostly just an inconvenience. Let me see, what's he showing? Horse and chartered carriage. Okay. We have one stake that is not yet discarded. Okay. And we also know from the beginning of the game, when Behind the Veil got drawn day 1, we know that Dracula started with 2 fogs, one of which of course got yoinked. A rats, which we've already seen. An aristocratic vampire, which we saw at Granada, but also a reckless vampire. We don't know, so therefore there's still the reckless vampire and 1 fog unaccounted for. The question is, where is that last stake? Okay, well, it was not Toulouse. So unfortunately that kills your theory, Warcraft. Unless, well, on the other hand, he could have gone Saragossa, and that's, well, no, there's no circumstances under which Toulouse can be involved now. So, because what was just misdirected was either Bordeaux, Saragossa, or Madrid. At a guess, I would say that Seward is likely going to move to Van Helsing, or the other way around, to get the horse onto Seward. Possibly check Madrid with Seward and have Van Helsing join him, depending on whether Seward has the stake or not. Don't know. We'll see how he wants to approach this. What would be quite an interesting play from PizzaWizard is if he did a wolf form hide on whichever spot this is. Which, actually, now that they've checked Toulouse, Bordeaux is actually out of the question. Except in terms of where he will form from. Ah, hello, Terminator. What? How are things going? Well, things are going... While the hunters got off to a good start, they are... Yes, very true, aircraft. The hunters got off to a good start in terms of that they got perfect time newspaper and were able to deal with the encounter quite thoroughly. It is being interesting, shall we say. But Dracula, on the other hand, this is Mistergreen as Hunters, PizzaWizard as Dracula. Okay, going to Alicante. Okay, we knew that was the lair, unfortunately. So he just got hit with a mob for no reason. So, Van Helsing could still have that last stake. Because, let's remember that was last night that he ended up searching and fighting the vampire. Yeah, so for those who don't know, this is actually we are actually having a double header match here. Where after this game, they're going to do another one, simply swapping the roles about for the League of 2025. It is possible that he wants to stop Opdrac from moving to Alicante. So that could be, Saragossa, Madrid, wolf form to Barcelona, and then go back, misdirect Saragossa to go back there. It could be. Quite a few possibilities going on. But there is also merit to the idea that he went Madrid, misdirected it, Saragossa, and went to Saragossa, and then wolf form to Bordeaux. That theory is not yet ruled out. Rufus Smith. Okay. He has surprising returns, so in that case, Searching is definitely the correct choice. Okay, so he did wolf form from Madrid. Okay, so that means it's a Barcelona play. He's still in Spain. And it looks as if, by moving to Alicante, he may have cut him off from what he originally intended to do. That being said, this could of course be a hide card. The question is, since you know that Dracula has... the question is, since you know that Dracula has the second fog in hand, or at least had the second fog in hand when he was in this area, and possibly still does have it, how do you go about the attack? Assuming, that is, he stays on land. Which, if he's at Saragossa... he'll have no choice but to stay on land, and he'll, in fact, point of fact, he'll have to move on to a hunter. Which, okay, but fortunately for Dracula, it was indeed a hide card at Barcelona. Yeah. That would have been he would indeed have been a goner aircraft. So now let the new vent mature. That is true. That is true. It is worth considering because, as you point out, the only thing left after that mature would be the hide card here. So maybe you just guard the Mediterranean Sea and let it do its own thing. However, the downside to that is that gives him wolf form back before he has to move any more sea zones. And that means that he could wolf form out of the med. So I think that if you have the stake, I would try to get rid of it. I think that would be the correct move. And also, on top of that, possibly use the surprising return that Mina has to summon back Rufus Smith to make sea travel that much more annoying for Drac. Various... yeah. Various possibilities. Okay. Well, that's not exactly going to tell you anything new. Oh, he wolfed to Saragossa. So it was a semi-fake wolf form, followed by Barcelona. I see. So, with that in mind, I would definitely want to clear this. Because since there's no hide card to cope with, you should be able to deal with this trail fairly easily. Because not only are you giving him back the wolf form, you're giving him back 2 locations, not just... Oh. Okay, well, it looks as if he is letting it go. Which... it seems that is unfortunate, but all right. You just don't have what you need to get rid of it. I can respect that. And then Seward can rail to Bordeaux, or Barcelona rather, to deal with that, and then off you go. It cuts off 1 day from week 4. But, oh, discarding a Heavenly Host. Whoa. Okay. That is interesting. What's the situation with the discard deck? No Holy Bullets left. PizzaWizard must be annoyed at Mistergreen for that. Perhaps the stake is on Mina? Possibly, considering what we're seeing, the fact that Godalming didn't try to horse to Santander to stop the vampire, that does seem to indicate that, yes. Since, for those who were not here earlier, there are 3 stakes in the discard now. Okay, yep, he's summoning Rufus to make Dracula his life a little bit harder, But the problem is, now that he's getting wolf form back, he can just wolf form ashore. However, if he does that, he has 3 hunters here, all with horses. So I think that he might actually just... I think he might actually go to Cagliari. Maybe. Don't know. Hard to say. Or I think that it's possible that he might even go South Atlantic. Like, go South Atlantic, North Atlantic, English Channel, and then and then head into England. It'll be painful for sure due to Rufus, but well, he can't wolf form to Bari just yet, but yeah, an immediate wolf form from the Med with all 3 of the horsing hunters being right there is indeed probably too risky. So therefore, wolf form to Bari seems sensible, at least at first glance. But he is going to do the wolf form. Okay. Let's see. Let's see how this goes. Because and here's another downside of that. Not only did he get Wolfram back, but he also cleared off 2 locations that he could Wolfram from the Med to. And what's more, he cleared the Granada lair earlier. I think that was before he went to Alicante. So he could actually be and with the discarding of that Heavenly Host, he can actually go to Wolfram to Granada without fearing a nuke. It'll be plenty bad, sure, but it might catch the hunters by surprise that way. Interesting. Second scan Italy. I agree that would likely be a good thing to do. Let's see. Whoop. Well, apparently that won't be happening through Gladoming. And for Van Helsing to do it with Mina, they'd have to go to Geneva. Okay. Yeah, that moves there's more than one purpose, as Seward is down an item as well. Okay, looks as if we're not going to get in the psychic scan on Italy, and all the other French locations are checked. Okay. Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. Oh, he's showing an excellent weather now. Okay. So in the event that was like a semi-fake wolf horn but to Cagliari, there is definitely a threat lurking. Okay, trading with Seward. Possibly give him the excellent weather to first go to Barcelona, then Go by C. Go excellent weather to CAG or something? Don't know. Methodical Mistergreen isn't risking moving in the wrong direction. Well, the thing about that is I'm not sure that. I mean, that'd be one day of moving in the wrong direction, yes. But on the other hand, if it strikes positive, then you're moving in the right direction, and if it strikes negative, he's all that much closer, and you know it that way. So I can't say. So. If it's Cagliari, hunters can CG him when he lands. Well, they did end up discarding one heavenly host, so it's not as scary for Drac. That being said, it's definitely not out of the question. Okay. Moving on. I'm putting down a rumor token. Okay. I could easily see that as a fake rumor token. I could easily see that being a fake rumor token. On say a bats or something like that. Okay. Okay. So he may have forgotten about Granada, but we'll see. Scouts. Okay. Well, this could be very helpful. Zurich and Milan. So neither Zurich nor Milan. So did he go to Geneva? If not, then that means it's either CAG or Granada. Oh, well. So it is CAG or it is Granada. Is Cadiz there? No. Not present. Oh, it is CAG. Wax cylinders. Clown Forend is where Goldaman came from last round, so we already knew it wasn't that. Giving out Lord Goldaman the excellent weather, perhaps? Looks like it. Meanwhile, Seward is making his slow trek towards. So what do you do as Drac? I mean, I would feed. Just say, if you want, come at me. I know you got excellent weather. Come at me. Yeah, there's only one of you that you can get and reach me, barring the possibility of renewed vigor and another excellent weather. That's Gul'daming is the only one who can challenge him, and he has 2 encounters protecting him. So, and what's more, if he times this right, and if he does a dark call, he can jump into the Tyrrhenian. That would make him able to dark. Yeah, yes, he could. And then Barcelona would slide off as Tyrrhenian as he goes into the Tyrrhenian, and then Mediterranean would slide off, so he could go in either direction. So it would cost. Yeah, so it would cost him 2 more health, but it would mean. It is true that the hunters have a lot of events, and therefore Money Trail is likely, but as Dracula kind of just had to try. Okay. How many Drac events have been discarded so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And number 9 is on top. So there's still there's a lot of Drac events, which no real surprise there due to the Mystic research giving him 6 things on the bottom. Okay. R2 in is spectating. Okay, going to deduction. So the main event is the reckless So the main encounter is the reckless vampire. Okay. And will more likely than not be the second fog. Because PizzaWizard has known for a while that the hunters have do have at least one excellent weather. What to do here? Perhaps this is another fighter vamp, because we've only seen one. That is only the second fighter vamp we've seen. Oh, going to sea. Okay, so that means that the hunters will know what direction he's going in, so Maestro will not be necessary. Okay, it is a double vamp. I wonder if Lord Godalming has heroic leap to just tackle down the real one and then not have to worry about the hide vamp again. Let me see. So far at 4 influence. Okay. Fangs into dodge. Okay. Claws into punch. Okay. The fact that they did that versus the hide one seems to imply that he does not have a heroic leap or something like that. Mez into escape. Okay, I would just dodge here. Yep. Good. Good. Strength into escape. Okay. So in the end, it's a typical vampire ambush for the hide vamp. Let's see if the actual one does any better. Fangs into escape. Okay. So this one gets an ambush point, but and that's that. Okay. So Seward needs to start. So Seward needs to search Barcelona. So we know that Dracula is in the Turinian. Oh, we need to discard a stake. Yeah, you don't want to be searching a double vamp location by night. Okay, dogs. And, oh, another reckless vampire. So that's now all 3 recklesses accounted for. There's also the question, do you just let this particular one go? Plan to ambush, okay. As long as it has a stick, I think it was smart to not use it sensitive, but save it for now. That's debatable, as you would have fangs, dodge. Okay, so I would assume that Sir does have a knife, right? Or some sort of anti-thing item, surely. Yep. plotting, and he punched to follow it up. So he, thanks to planned ambush, he gets it nice and clean. However, now he needs to deal with Cagliari. Or that will have been basically for nothing. So, one thing that I could see happening soon is, I don't know how many of you will recall, but Van Helsing earlier did, he must have discarded the chart carriage at some point, because he was showing one at one point. I was going to say that I would not be surprised to see one of those happen soon, but apparently there's only one left. So, since he doesn't have wolf form back up yet, does he continue going by sea? Or not? But the problem is, if he wants to be able to wolf form ashore, he's going to have to go all the way to the Adriatic or Black Sea. Roof is going to work. So I think that he's going to have to... But landing from the Ionian Sea, regardless of which one you choose, it's quite easy to CG you off. Even when you are -1 heavenly host. So that could make things very awkward. Okay, so Glung does have a stake to take out Cagliari. He will have to have one last fight with the hide card vampire, but that shouldn't be that big a deal. Okay, Mez into escape. Okay. Well, I wouldn't be so bold to say he's just flat up a goner if the hunter says CG. But because I actually. This may sound very ridiculous, but I suppose I'll get to it after this fight. See how this ambush goes. Fangs. Escape. Okay. This isn't an ambush, so that's not a point. So it's some damage. So it'll definitely be very bad, to be sure, but I wouldn't say that he would be just flat up a goner. I actually, as Drac, would go to Black Sea or Adriatic and force the hunters to play something of a guessing game. Which one did I go to? Because if you land, it is very easy to CG him back out to sea. But But if you don't land, or vice versa with Black Sea, which is what I think he's doing. We will see. The first question is whether or not they even have CG, because there's still 36 events left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Granted, 15 of those events are 15 of those events are Drac events. So there's still 21 Hunter events left, and any one of those Hunter events could be CG. So it's not over. And also the Hunters have not yet shown any real serious sign of having renewed vigor either. That being said, the Hunters are in a good position. The trail is cleared since the only encounter left on the trail is under the hide card, and he's at sea. The Hunters are in a very good position, to be sure. However, it is far from over. It is by no means over. How? Okay, will Dracula move a third sea space, or will he simply land at Athens or Salonika? He's landing. But so long as they have at least 3 heavenly hosts, they can. So long as they have at least 2 heavenly hosts, they can guaranteed at the very least CG hotel him by placing the permanent one at Valona, and then heavenly hosts at Salonika and Sophia. And even if the Hunters do win, at the very least, Dracula has gotten 5 influence, so the Hunters won't get a clean win, are far from a clean win in terms of IDS. But that being said, a win is a win. even if it ends up coming to just the last influence point. Yep. MG's checking his cards and doing math as to what he can do with said cards. He chose not to use any dawn action, dawn events. Interesting. Yep, we're going doing excellent weather. Makes sense. So he'll be right on his tail. Charred carriage, perhaps? The last charred carriage? Nope, just a ticket. But this is still in the area where rail connections are reasonable. Oh, slow horse. CG. Oh boy. Yep. Oh. Oh. Van Helsing. Place one at Sophia. At least that's what I would do. Sophia first, then to at least CG hotel him. Apparently he skipped over placing one. Yeah, he could have guaranteed CG'd him out to sea, which would have dealt him set. But the thing is, it may be better to CG hotel him, rather than. I think it's better to CG hotel him than to CG blast him back out to sea. The reason for this is Hyde's still on the trail, but this way you contain him to one of two locations, so you can. Guaranteed pounce on him. We still haven't seen that second fog. Let's remind ourselves. But yeah, he's if he's in Athens, he's caught by a CG hotel. I think it's more likely that he's in Salonika, but. Oh, excuse me. We'll see what happens now. So I imagine that we're going to see a renewed vigor next turn. Dark Call? Oh yeah, because that's his only valid move. Hyde and Vita are already on the trail. So, if you have renewed vigor, have Gul'daming start by. I mean, we know we have Speed Telegraph, unless that got discarded earlier. No, we know that he has it. Playing the long night just for funsies, seemingly. Okay, Mia has a vampire lair. Okay, oh, there he is. Does Gul'daming have the forewarned? Or have a forewarned, rather. And if will Drac choose to ambush? So, I might actually just move out into Sophia. Okay, it's a hoax. In that case, never mind. Pile in, finish him off. Hello, I started to do Avik. I was bold since if it had been fog for one worked. Yes. Yeah, I agree. EU aircraft, that makes sense. Oh, then that means Van Helsing's not going to be able to get there. Okay, so because of that, does this mean that you instead have Mina go with him to there? Well, no, because Wolfhorn will be off the trail. Do you engage in a 2v1? And you're basically guaranteed to get in some damage, so I think so. And if you manage to hit hard enough, well, you can. If you hit hard enough, then, well, have me draw an event. Try to get, say, heroic leap, perhaps. Just for a random idea as to what to do with his second action. Yeah, that was indeed bold. That was indeed bold. Okay, trading items about. Okay. Making him have to guess as to what's going on. Any heroic leap? No. No. Okay. No loses or revenge either. So while there's... And since there's no Aggie, Dracula could entirely get out of this. If he manages to escape his bat, there's no Aggie to penalize him for doing so. So therefore we'll have... Yeah, Dracula couldn't entirely get out of this. It's still not over. If Van Helsing were here, I would say it's basically impossible. I mean, even now, his chances are less than optimal, but we'll see. Yeah. Oh. Okay, round one. Claws into a dodge. Looks as if he guessed that was going to happen. And what does Mia do? Okay, what? Wow, playing quite defensive on the hunter side. Interesting. Okay, I think now they'll start going offensive, because now that there's no chance of Goldami getting double clawed to kill him, I think it's time to go offensive. Oh, excuse me. Okay, targeting Mina. Fangs. Mesmerize into punch. Okay. That's 1 out of 8 damage dealt. And punch. Okay. Get in there. Get in there. Fangs into dodge. Okay. And Mina does also dodge. I can't say that I like how defensive MG is playing this. Okay, you'd better do some anti-bat things now, because otherwise he could. He could make it. He could make it all the way to the castle and refuel his health, which would definitely not be good. Okay. Escape his bat. Knife. Okay. Yep. He is saving it for this round. Or Munich with wolf form. Plus escapes that. Okay. Oh. So, holy bullets by any chance? Nope. Okay, so now he can't wolf form. So that's big. He can't reach the castle. Yeah, he could have also headed to Munich with that stuff, with that combo. Escapes bat again. Dodge. Okay, so he does get to escape his bat, and the game is not yet over. However, he can't go far. The neat thing is that it takes off the Dark Call, not Salonica. Unless I'm mistaken. So, now, yeah, so now it comes down to a guessing game. Where did it go? So they do have the speed telegraph, so they could start by having Mina... Oh, long night. Actually taking advantage of that. That's well played. Yes, well played, Mr. Green. I had forgotten that he had played that. It's very rare that you see Long Night do anything that's even slightly useful, but this is one of those rare situations. So I'm gonna. So it's going to be a place next to Bucharest, where I think that he just has to head for the castle if he's to have like any hope here. Do you gamble on going to Sofia, hoping that they jump over you with horses heading towards the castle? That'd be an interesting play. Alright. Okay. Belgrade? No. What is sewer? Chartered carriage, okay. 1, 2. So with that he can join Gulaming there. Though I think it's more likely that I'll just go to Sajed. Oh. Huh. I mean, okay. Looks as if he did go Klausenberg. Or if he didn't, that means that he's on Black Sea coast. Or at Sofia. So if he doesn't go to the castle, at least 3 hunters will be in range of where he is. Because if he went to Sofia, well, I suppose Sarajevo would be one thing that would be exempt from that rule, because Goldaming and Mina could get there. Do you play the hide card here so that you're protected by 2 encounters? Apparently, well, he's not beelining to the castle. If he went Klausenberg after Bucharest, he now hid there. Hid there if he's planning to go to the castle. Ah, he did backtrack to Sofia. Or go to Constanta. He's either hide at Constanta, or went to Sofia, hide, or Sofia, Sarajevo. So, he can't be at Sajed, because Guldan was just at Belgrade. So, next location... Sense of emergency, okay. Okay, well, he didn't misdirect Bucharest, so he couldn't be there. Why did he stop there, I wonder? Yeah, Constante has a ticket to nowhere at such low health. That maybe... Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing about him misclicking at Bucharest. So... Has he perhaps... I think one reason why he might go to Bucharest is because he has mentally ruled out the possibility of Sofia. Because let's keep in mind that he moved via long night from Sofia to Bucharest, and therefore he may have forgotten. And since long night movement is so rare, he may have forgotten that it's possible that for him to be there, and therefore is zeroed in on Constanta, possibly by mistake. Yeah, not a bad idea. However, now if he is at Constanta, he might try to challenge Mina individually. Well, no, he's almost certainly going to feed next. Now that he is, presumably protected by a hide card. Or either that or has made a little bit of distance. And also, doing feed helps keep the charade, so to speak, of being at Constanta alive. Vampire Lair. Yeah, I think that he may well have gone to Sofia, gambling that they wouldn't get a slow horse roll, so that they jump over him. I think that it is right to feed, regardless of whether you're at hiding at Constanta, hiding at Sofia, or at Sarajevo. Because this, and the way the hunters are behaving, they seem to have come to the conclusion that it's Constanta. So therefore it seems just better, so to speak, to to do it this to claim the health while they potentially waste time at Constanta before moving on. And also, feeding also gives you the option to wolf form next turn, so you're essentially making the same amount of distance long term. So, I actually like the feed, regardless where he is. What does Seward do? Supply. And we only ever saw in one newspaper. Another newspaper here would solve the problem. Harker. Okay. Well, now he will get us an answer. It is a Constanta hide. I personally think that was a mistake. However, on the off chance that he has not yet spent his fog, or if he has on the not quite as much off chance redrawn his other fog, he could wolf form to Galatz and place down said fog now, and then go into the castle from there. We'll see. I mean, obviously the one thing that he can't do is go to sea. Because with Rufus Smith in play, he would just die. Plain and simple. He would be forced to come back. Then again, perhaps as Dracula, you just gotta accept that you're gonna lose. And the way to get the most IDS is to go to sea and then wolf form back ashore, so as to get some points from fourth week. Basically close the IDS gap as much as possible. He can be at least 2v1 attacked anywhere he goes, yeah. In fact, he can be potentially 3-on-1 attacked wherever he goes, apart from going to sea. Of course. He can't come at you since it's nighttime. Yeah. Dark Call and then wolf form? Possibly? The problem with that is that there's still the possibility of Heroic Leap kicking around somewhere. And if the hunters have that, and then give Heroic Leap and Forewarn to the right to the same person, okay, well that's the way he's going. But if there's and now he's survived to week 4, so that cuts Mistergreen's IDS a little bit. Is he really just going to wait it out? Because, which honestly, that might be the right thing to do, is just wait him out. Because after this, he has to move. With only 1 HP, because presumably he'll wolf form. I mean, he can't go to sea now that he's done Dark Call. He can wolf form somewhere. I mean, you can easily check all possible wolf form locations. Okay, yeah, blocking one other making it so that there's going to be only 2 possibilities. Good move, good move. I like it. Yeah, so at this point it's pretty likely that he will have regained the fog that got yoinked at the beginning of the game. Okay. Yep, will form. 3 points. So, there are 2 possibilities, Galatz and Belgrade. So it's simple. Goldaming checks 1, all the other hunters pile onto the other one. However, there could be one complication. Does he have fog or not? And also, there's also the problem of Constanta. If they fail to if they get fogged today, they have to deal with Constanta. Dracula has a very small chance. Does have one small hope through that rumor token. So this is going to be a tight match, even though there's the second rune vigor and speed telegraph. Okay. Okay, in which case this means that it's almost 100% curtains for Dracula. He did indeed go to Belgrade. Does she have forewarned? No, she does not. She does, however, have heroic leap. Did Dracula lay down fog? Because he needs to ambush now. Yep, that's game over. Alright, so this first game goes to Mistergreen with a final score of 7 IDS. Yeah, what a game. GG, I'll play both. GG, I'll play both. But this game, well, this game in chat and in between, post game chat in between, or okay. Yeah, that is a good point. Would have been closer. Well. Alright, everyone. Okay, looks as if they'll be coming for a brief chat, but then after that, I'll need to real quick fetch a refill. Well, I'll need to go to the bathroom real quick while they are setting up the second match. Since, as I mentioned at the beginning of this is a double header So, eh, very amusing PizzaWizard. But once we have a small chat with MG, there'll be a small intermission, which I'll put it back to the introductory screen. And from there then we'll watch the second game as soon as they're ready. Waiting for MG for the moment.
Hello.
Hello MG. Well done. Although that was a little bit tight with that rumor, with what I'm guessing is a rumored vampire, a genuine rumored vampire in Constanta. that was a tight match. But then again, aren't they all when you're facing PizzaWizard? Yes. I could not help but notice that.
Yeah. I started searching for tickets like earlier as well because I had all the tickets for London. Don't think that the ruling is
Okay, well, I will say that I really liked your use of Long Night to find the VAT location.
still had one Mistergreen charge left since I got 6 on that one, another like
Yeah, gracious. Yeah, I've seen. It's very rare that you see that, but even rarer that you see the Long Night taking advantage of. Normally it's just chucked away because like, oh, just get out of my hand. I don't stop pestering me type thing. That card very seldom sees play, like actual useful play.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, we're planning to play the next game.
Yes, yes. How long a break are you planning on? Just probably
It's 15 minutes.
15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Okay. In which case, I suppose I'll end my stream and make a second one, but but after that, I'll be around for the second one as well, doing neutral perspective. In any event, thanks for chatting, MG, and thank you everyone for watching, and see you all next time. See you all for the next, which next time being the second game between these two, where we will see if MG can fare better with Dracula.
Well, I fear not, but we'll see.
Indeed we shall. Bye.